Yes, it is. Bump and run, boys. What day is it? Is it next Sunday yet? Yep. Good luck, everybody. Have fun. Give me something to yell about. Hello. Hello, hello. We're all sharing, right? Alright. Ready or not. I'm not even cracked out yet. This isn't good. I just got home. I haven't even opened the Red Bull. Here we go.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Azerbaijan for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here from the UDL. It's a new era for EDL on YouTube as we have a 3-man team in the booth for you all this evening. I am Sinister Al 43 in the booth alongside Damage and John. How are you guys doing tonight?
I am doing amazing. How about you, Damage?
I'm absolutely fantabulous. I'm ready for a wonderful GP.
Well, me as well. I am very excited to take over the roles of being the main commentator tonight for tonight's action, and I'll do my best to guide all of you through the action to the best of my ability. So we start the qualifying session, 18 minutes of just trying to set the fastest lap possible to see who will start on pole for the UDL Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So what should these drivers look out for to set a fast lap here in qualifying?
I mean, truthfully, this track, we all know it's a tough track. So whoever can get that middle sector the best is gonna be the fastest person in qualifying, in my opinion. That castle section is the toughest part of the track. If you can get that middle sector down, you're gonna be in for a really good lap.
Alright. We do have Drew Yu out on track already.
So am I doing the first quali lap explanation of the track?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. I'll follow along with Drew Yu since he is the first car on track. I'll do it whenever he starts the lap, but here we are in sector 2. This is what I'm talking about. This part of the track is so tough. It's so easy to hit that wall, especially if you understeer miles in that corner, and then here you have to flick it in absolutely perfect, or else you might as well just quit. It's tough. It's a tough track, but it's pretty fun to drive around and hot lap. but side-by-side racing here is kind of tight every once in a while. But hey, makes things entertaining.
So we look here as it looks like that nearly the entire field is out and starting their outlap and trying to get a feel for their cars and see the type of car that they have for qualifying. Breezy is making his way towards the castle section right about now. Could be a threat in this race, but from practice, it looks like Anos may be the class of the field.
Yeah, I wasn't around for practice, and I haven't really looked at time trials as I just got home, so I don't really know too much about the speeds of everybody. I completely missed the start of Drew Yu's lap there. I guess I'm gonna hop on with, well, since you say Honos is class of the field here, I'll ride along with Honos as we start the flying lap, the longest straight in the Formula One calendar right here, coming down into this turn one, heavy braking zone into this 90-degree left-hand corner. Very easy to hit that wall that comes out on the right side, and this 90 is very tight here on the exit. Easy to understeer into that wall. Open up the DRS immediately in the acceleration zone. Get all the way up into 8th gear here as we come down. Brake at about 100-meter board. Flick it into this another 90-degree left-hander. All these turns are different but the same. They're very tough. That curb on the right side through that right-hander is very weird as Shawsome is letting him through as Hono sets a purple first sector time there going through the chicane at the start of the second sector here going into turn 7. This weird tight right here. Now we go up into the castle, the track, as Honos just seems to be taking it nice and smooth through here this time around. No mistakes whatsoever. As now we at turns 13 and 14 into the awkward braking zone of turn 15. Going downhill, you have to brake way earlier than you expect to because this turn is a lot tighter than you would expect. Going into the final braking zone of the lap, turn 16. It's essential to get a really good exit here onto this long back straight with a little bit of squiggles. This part of the track is very hard to get right, especially if you have front wing damage. If you have front wing damage, good luck, as now we ride along on this very pitch straight. Press is now open as we come up towards the rev limiter. Let's see what Honos can do as he goes to the top of the 138.728.
By clear of Dillsec by about 2 seconds. Well, Snipper Pig has something to say about it. He comes across the line with a 138.5. It's a fantastic lap by Snipper Pig. He just gets hit the faster lap than Anos, and Breezy goes to P2 with a 138.6 as we look at who else is coming across the line. Looks like Shawsome has just started his flyer in the racing point. He's looking loose. He hits the wall, and that lap is already ruined. He might have to go ahead and just abort that lap.
Got Lucas coming up to the line now to set his first lap. He jumps up in a P5 for Mercedes. Replacement driver for he's the replacement driver for either Bocanos or Greco in that Mercedes team, as both of those drivers have been MIA.
Here comes Boss Man across the line. He's going to go to P7. And an experienced driver in this league, he does have a win from last season at the Austrian Grand Prix. So Bossman, he definitely knows what he's doing and how to get around here. And a surprising, fantastic lap from SEX Cone Dodger. That puts him in the P8 with a 140.6. A pretty impressive showing from Cone Dodger to be this inexperienced.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see Cone stepping it up this time around. I saw he's been practicing almost all day, so really happy that he's in this race, and we know him well enough to know that whenever he races, he wants to do well, and I have a feeling he's going to do pretty well here today.
It looks like Snipper may be on another flyer. No, he's going to take this into the pits. I do believe, yes, indeed, he pulls into the pits. Looks like that all the fast guys who have already set their laps are going to go ahead and put it into the pits now. But I do think Breezy may actually be staying out here. No, he's going into the pits as well.
There's one key difference here. You see some of these drivers, some guys don't have pit assist on and some do, so it might look a little scary whenever the guys with pit assist fly into the pit lane, but the game does slow them down, hopefully. for that for that pit entry, else they're in a lot of trouble.
Hopefully so. So Bossman now is coming around the final corner and heading into the long pit straight now. I do not know if he's going to go through with this fly or not. He's way off the pace, so I do imagine he's going to go ahead and put this into the pit lane as well.
So something to note here, Racer X in P4 currently for Alfa Romeo on the medium compound tires.
Indeed, a fantastic lap from Racer X on the mediums.
And the field spread here, especially in the midfield, looks very close. Only a few tenths separating everybody.
And Impulse goes to P4 with a 139.7. That's a pretty good lap there from the sole Red Bull driver in tonight's race.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a get that money and run here today after his strong performances in the last few GP. He unfortunately will not be making it to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So after the first laps on the board, who do you guys think is going to be taking pole position here today for Azerbaijan?
I still want to point out, I still like Anos. I do believe in practice his pace was just untouchable, and I do think that on his final flying lap that he will be able to get past the Ferrari and Alfa Romeo of Breezy and Snipper.
Okay, John?
Honestly, I think anyone within the top three has a really decent shot to be able to get that pole position. They're only separated by 0.3, which is very close for three drivers at that pace. Sorry. But yeah, they are very close. So I have a feeling that any of those three could get pole position. Someone might be able to pull out something. There are a couple people in the 29 or 39s. If they can really get on the lap, they might be able to get out into that, top three position. But I can't really tell between the three of those. So.
And one thing to note is that Pecan has yet to set a lap in this session, and Pecan is very fast around this track, so I do expect him, whenever he sets a lap, to go to the top, if not very close to the top. As he is coming now to start his flying lap, Pecan 36, we're going to see the type of time that he can lay down on his first flying lap of the inning.
Trying to look ahead a little bit just on the mini map. Thank God there's a map now. I'm trying to look and see who's on a flying lap that's coming around now. I think Glenn's the first person on a flying lap on the track currently.
I do believe that Snipper as well is on a flying lap. I do believe so. We're going to see his time as he comes across the first second line. He's about 500ths up. He's looking quick this time around.
Let's see what Breezy does here. He's coming close to the middle sector timing line. And where's Honos? Honos is in front of Snipper on track as well. So we'll be able to swap. We'll be able to swap between the two of them for the sector times.
And one thing to note is that Onos was 1/10 up through the first sector. So Onos here is looking very, very quick. We're going to see his time as he comes across the sector 2 timing line. He's 0.3 up. He's looking really quick. This could be a fantastic lap for Manos.
Yeah, but at the same time, Super Pig is 2.5 tenths up as well, so this is going to be very close between the two of them, as well as Breezy, who was 1.5 tenths up in the first sector alone. So it's going to be very close between those three drivers here for pole position.
Let's see what happens. Hanos 9-7 coming across the line now. Is it enough for pole? For the time being, he is on pole, but hold your horses. Here comes Snipper Pig across the line. It's a 138.3. It's not enough. X Breezy, does he have what it takes to get on top of both these drivers and take pole position?
Pecan comes across the line for P5 on the mediums so far. Good lap out of him. Kill the Birdman. Great lap out of him, and that Williams goes up at a P4. Wow. Dilsack up in P4 as well, as now Breezy's coming up to the line.
Fantastic lap by a bunch of drivers. Breezy's crossed the line. He sets a 138.4, but what a fantastic lap from Dilsack. We usually don't see him this close to the front, but he just proved today that he is very much a contender for this race.
Gonna jump down to the Mercedes of Lucas. He seems to be the only person finishing a flying lap now. Let's see what he does. He jumps up at a P7. So we got a pretty tight spread here in this field. A lot of drivers top 9 underneath the 140 bracket. And with how hard of a track this is, that's a pretty good thing to say.
Yeah, very close racing, especially in the midfield. I think it's going to be very exciting.
Sinister, do you know anything about what strategy might turn out as? I see that Pecan, Shawsome, and Imran Thunder are the only 3 drivers now that have qualified their best laps on the mediums.
The smart thing to do, in my opinion, I think, is to go from a simple soft to hard strategy. But if there's a few drivers that's concerned about the tire wear, then the medium to hard strategy is definitely not out of the question. But I do think that the soft to hard strategy may be faster in the long run and a lot better because of track position qualifying. But we look now, and it looks like that all the fast guys are coming into the pits now. So we're going to have to wait a little bit before they head out again to start their out laps for their final attempt to try and get on pole position for this race.
Yep, all the guys are pitting. There's a Williams in the wall in the final few corners. That is Drew Yu, showing exactly why I said that is some of the hardest corners on the track. Didn't seem to actually get any damage there, but just barely nicked the wall, and he kind of got sucked into it. The Mercedes is coming up behind him.
Yeah, those corners are nothing to laugh at all. It may be flat, but that does not mean that they are easy by any stretch of the imagination. It takes a lot of precision and skill to get through those corners without just barely tapping the wall. As it looks like there's a McLaren that's heading out now. Anos is about to start his out lap now, and he's going to try and set his final attempt for a flying lap here in just a few moments.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Bossman is currently 2.5 tenths up on his last time in that Pink Panther. Let's see if he continues on this lap or goes into the pit lane. And he does go into the pit lane, so it seems like he did mess up that final sector. Real shame because he was a few tenths up there. Could have been a good lap.
Yeah. It's very sad there from Bossman. He was looking fast indeed as a Mercedes comes out in the pits right in front of him. That looked like a dangerous exit on the pits. So Hano seems to be the only front runner who's currently on his out lap. So he went out early to try and get some clean air, to try and maximize his lap to the max.
Seems like everybody but Impulse currently on the track doing out laps. Impulse, the first driver I would assume to be done in this session, unless he goes on a 2-lap run here.
So John, you've been kind of quiet this sessions. What are your thoughts on the session so far?
Yeah, I'm reading into a lot of these times and stuff. Just kind of predicting how this race is going to go. I feel like the midfield is going to be extremely competitive, and I'm really excited to see how the midfield goes. But up at the front, those top 5 really, they're going to be so close. I'm really excited to see that.
Oh, Anos now is starting his flying lap now. So Damage, take us through an in-depth analysis of Anos' lap here.
So once again, braking at the 100-meter board for this corner. This first sector isn't too bad. You just have to really learn the curbs here. Have to know which ones you can use, which ones you can't. And now into this left-right chicane. This is a tough chicane. He's 1.5 tenths up already in that first sector. Great first sector there out of the McLaren driver. As now we come up towards this tricky middle sector. Whoever gets it perfect is going to be the pole sitters. Now we come to the castle section. Cool, calm, and collected. Absolutely perfect there through the castle. Great driving there from the McLaren driver of Onos. As now we come flying down the hill, down to turn number 16. and he clips that apex perfectly. Does not touch the wall. Easy wall to touch. You can jump over that curb and absolutely kill your run. Once again, 2.5 tenths up, coming out of the final corner. Now through the squiggles on the pit straight. Make sure he goes through there as smooth as possible. He gets through there nice and clean. Now you want to take the line of least resistance coming up to the line. You do not want to put any steering input in whatsoever. As now we come up towards the line, and he improves to 138.107.
Fantastic lap from Manos 9.7. I wouldn't have expected anything else out of him. Fantastic lap from the McLaren driver, as now the rest of the front runners are coming to start their final flying laps. We're going to see what Snipper and Breezy and Dilsack can do. But Dilsack now is actually on a flyer, and he is a 10th up through first sector, so he's going to be coming across the sector 3 timing line pretty soon here. We'll see if he's up or down, but he's about half a second up. He must have made a mistake, and now he's just going to try and wait and go for his flyer now. But does he have enough time to set his flyer?
Yeah, these guys coming through the middle sector, coming down the pit straight now, can get there. I'm not sure if the Williams will be able to make it to the line in time. So the Williams is going to be very close. No, it will not make it. So this will be everybody's final flying lap of the session.
We're going to hop on here with Snipper Pig 007. You know he's angry, he's hungry, he wants this pole position more than anyone. If I'm not mistaken, I think he has been on pole for every race this season, hasn't he?
I believe so. Actually, yes, he has been on pole for every race. Deathwish Tricky in the other Toro Rosso completes a really good showing for Toro Rosso there so far. Went up into P5, but then Shawsome took it from him, as now the next driver to cross the line is Honos. We'll jump back to him in that McLaren, flying down this pit straight now. See what he can do, if he can improve on his time or not, and he does go into the pit lane, so he is done.
Gonna see what Snipper Pig can do here. He's 2 tenths up through sector 2. The Snipper have what it takes to take away pole from Manos at the last second. Pecan goes P4 with a 138.6. Fantastic lap from Pecan. He is very much in contention to take this win. Here comes Snipper Pig out of the final few corners down the pit straight. DRS open. Does he have what it takes? Is Snipper Pig on pole, or do we give it to Anos coming across the line? It's enough! Snipper Pig does go to pole position just by the skin of his teeth. Here comes
it's just provisional.
And X Breezy goes to pole position with a 138.061. Fantastic lap from X Breezy.
Wow. That is...
Very...
Oh, that is so close.
Very interesting ending to the qualifying here.
Let's see, we've got the pair of Williams here. He's still yet to finish. Drew Yu coming down the pit straight now, looking to do a little bit better in that Williams. Look at all those drivers so close.
What an exciting qualifying session we have just had. X Breezy, I do believe, will be your pole sitter once it's all said and done. Looks like time ran on the lap. No, he's 41 seconds down. He is not on the hot lap. But yes, I do believe X Breezy will be your pole sitter for the UDL Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A fantastic lap from him. Snipper Pig will start P2. Panos will be P3. Racer X, a great lap from him in P4. Pecan 36 will start the race in P5. Dill Sack will start P6. And it's a Racing Point row 4 as Shawsome leads Bossman by just a few tenths. Row 5 precedes Deathwish Tricky and Impulse 4811. And then in P6, it looks like it's still the Birdman and Lucas. P7, Drew Yu and Glenn Coco. And then P8 is Cone Dodger and I'm Ran Thunder. And rounding out the field will be the Imperial 757, as he did not set a lap this qualifying session.
I'm speechless. That qualifying session was absolutely impeccable. 3 drivers within half a tenth of each other. This is going to be a hell of a race here for the win.
Incredible, and the pole time changed 3 times in the last lap.
Good Lord.
Remarkable stuff. An absolute shootout by the did not disappoint in qualifying.
Look at the gap. Look at the gaps.
the gaps are absolutely insane.
Incredible.
The entire top three, less than a tenth of a second between them. Nothing are separating those three.
And it's only 3.5 tenths back to Racer X, and then a little bit more back to Pecan, but then from Pecan down through the field, it's just little gaps between each driver. It's going to be a really fun race to watch.
It's going to be an absolutely incredible race to witness. And one thing to note is that as Iron Man Thunder did set his qualifying lap on the mediums, but since he's starting outside of the top 10, it doesn't matter anyway.
Oh my.
So, gentlemen, after an exciting qualifying session, what are your predictions for the race, for the podium, and just some things to look out for?
John, you can go
Right.
first.
Honestly, I can't even give you a podium after that.
That's why you're going
it's that
first.
Close. I really don't know.
I gotta look back at like the previous race here to see how everybody did, because I'm like stuck. I don't know.
It's incredible.
I'm lost.
Okay, so now as we're making the new lobby, we're going to open the floor up for an interview. So, Damage, if you would like to ask the drivers if you want like an interview or not, and go ahead and send those invites out, and we will get some post qualifying interviews before we get the Grand Prix going. So just sit tight and don't go anywhere, folks. The action is just beginning.
I cannot wait for this race.
This race is going to be absolutely incredible. The top, the top 8 is all within 1 second of each other, I do believe. Top 8, top 6, or something insane like that. It's guaranteed to be an absolutely fantastic race.
Yeah, this is. I'm excited for this race. This is. I don't know. I don't know what to say, honestly. I mean, this is gonna be impeccable.
I am thrilled for what we are about to witness here tonight.
All I gotta say is I'm happy I got a Red Bull on the way home.
You're going to need it, because you do not want to fall asleep during this. I don't think that you will have the ability to fall asleep during this. I think there's going to be that much action.
What happened? That went very strange.
What?
My multiplayer session just went really strange and then dropped me back.
Huh?
I don't know.
Interesting developments from John. Our color commentators had some lobby issues, but they seem to be fixed now. Glad that those are resolved. We don't need that to happen during the race. From Commissioner and Chairman Pecan 36 to get the race lobby underway. Still waiting for some drivers to get some interviews. No one said they want one yet. We're sorry to disappoint on that one.
So a little bit of a history lesson for everybody here. Last season's Azerbaijan GP was won by Pecan 36 in the Ferrari. And get this, the fastest lap of the race last year was a 1:42.3 from Greco. And Pecan's fastest lap of the race was a 1:43.3. I don't know about you guys, but I have a feeling we're going to have a few faster times than those 1:43s in this race.
I think that we'll see a few times, just a tad quicker than that, as we see that the drivers have definitely improved from last season.
The podium from last season were Pecan 36 in the Ferrari, Snipper Pig in his first race in the UDL was P2 in the Red Bull, and Race Driver 79 P3, rounding out a double Red Bull podium last season. Amsterdam Devon in the Mercedes last year was in P4, and Sinister Owl was in P5 in the Renault. Get that money and run. Bossman, Greco, Impulse, and Masashiro rounded out the points last season. And what was a very interesting race that only led to 8 drivers finishing on the lead lap.
So one point point out here for this race, it's the big elephant in the room: safety cars. Will we see a safety car this race? This race.
Reese.
I wouldn't be surprised, but honestly, I think we have good enough drivers in this league to be able to avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this track, I feel like if a car gets stuck, like if somebody loses a front wheel in the, like if they break their suspension in the castle section, I feel like that's probably going to be an instant safety car. But I mean, I don't know if anybody's, knock on wood, I don't know if anybody's really going to be making that big of a mistake there. Hopefully nobody Charles Leclerc's it into the wall, and we'll be okay.
Alright, fellas, so just for a few seconds here, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. So, Damage John, keep the streams entertained while I'm gone, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright, well, so I'm going to go ahead and throw out the ad read here for the WEC season. Next week, we're having a doubleheader. We're having the Monaco GP at its same time, 6:30 Eastern time, but then directly after the F1 Monaco GP, guess what? It's the first race of the WEC World Endurance Championship here in the UDL and the United Drivers League. We have a full grid of 16 drivers. We have 6 LMP1Hs, 4 LMP2s, and 6 GTEs. You're not going to want to miss the action. It is at Coda for the first sprint race of the season. 1.5 hours long. It's going to be a blast.
I cannot wait.
That it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And oh, by the way, the weather forecast, it's been changing every day. And it's showing a little bit of rain at the end of the race, ladies and gentlemen. So that's definitely something you're going to want to be here for.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun day.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good one. Also, as well, like I said before, the Monaco GP Round 5 of the championship will be coming in hot next week around. Of course, the elephant in the room there, we are not racing at Catalunya this season. I know, really, really sad. Sad to see a track like that go, but we had a poll. People voted for the tracks they didn't want to race at, and that was one of the tracks that was dropped. So we go straight to Monaco and then Canada directly after. Monaco will be on March the 8th. We'll have a week break, and then Canada, and then a week break, and then Austria. And then we'll have a back-to-back from Austria to Britain.
Alright, I have returned, and I do apologize
John
for taking
Spector.
a short break. But
sorry about that.
Sometimes it just happens. So I had to take care of some business before we get going for the long haul here. So,
I decided not to come up with this question while you were gone. I want a serious answer this time. Who's going to be on the podium here? Who's going to win this race? And I'll throw a wrench in. Who's going to have the fastest lap?
Okay. For the podium, for the win, I think I'm going to give it... I hate to do this. I do think it's going to happen, but I do think that Snipper Pig will end up and get the race win. P2, I do believe, will be Hanos, and P3, I'm going to go for Pecan 36.
Interesting.
And
so
for the fastest lap, can't forget about that. That's an all-important detail. I feel like there's going to be an incident or something with a mid-pack runner, and they're going to end up in pit for fresh sauce and put that puppy in hot lap and just try and set a flyer. So I'm going to give the fastest lap to Dilsack. I think that Dilsack will end up and pull out the fastest lap of the session.
That's a pretty good shout, honestly. I actually agree with you there with the Dillsack prediction. You know, I hope he doesn't get that luck where he has to pit 4 softs, but I do know that he has the pace. So if he comes with an alternate strategy that might be a 2-stop or something, like soft, medium or something like that, or if he gets on softs at the end of the race, something along those lines, I feel like Dillsack will have the fastest lap of the race. And the podium's going to be tough to predict, especially around a track like this. I think that the McLaren driver of Onos will come home and take the win here. The first win for the Papaya Mobiles in the season after a few disappointments so far in the year. Breezy will come home in P2 for Alpha, and Snipper Pig coming home in P3 with Pecan right behind him in P4.
John, your thoughts?
It's so difficult with how qualifying went. I'm gonna go with Honos on top, winning the race. I'm gonna say Snipper Pig in second, and Racer X I see moving up into third.
Wow, interesting pick there.
As far as the fastest lap, I'm gonna go with Pecan getting the fastest lap.
Pecan getting the fastest. Okay.
An interesting pick there from John. So one thing to note is everyone outside of the top 10 is starting on the medium tires. Since they did not qualify inside the top 10, they do not have to start on the soft tires. They had free choice of tires for this race. So they all like to go for the mediums to hards, which is probably faster if you didn't qualify in the top 10.
So last year's race, only 2 drivers did a one-stop strategy in the top 10, and that was Pecan and Snipper in first and second. Everybody else did a 2-stop. So we could have some hard. We could also have 2 stops in there as well, which makes things good.
Yeah, 2-stop would be a very ambitious strategy to go with in this race. I don't think that we'll see a 2-stop from anyone in the front of the field, but it's definitely a possibility for something to see. So X Breezy leads them into Sector 3 in the formation lap here. The heart rate's starting to turn up for all the drivers. This is where everyone gets nervous. They try to calm the nerves with everything they've got. This is where it's at.
Oh man, these drivers do their last little bit of tire warming, a little bit of weaving, a little bit of brake warming, coming up to the grid as the AI takes over control of their cars. Breezy and Snipper showing the gap that they had in qualifying. This is very close to the gap between them, to be honest. Just one front tire's width is all it was from P1 to P3.
Breezy's AI-controlled part leads the field to the grid slots. The final drivers in the back are finally rolling into their grid slots. It's going to be a fantastic race for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from the UDL as we wait for the lights to turn on. Here we go. Still can't see the lights. Don't know how close we are starting this. Lights are on now. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are green from Azerbaijan. It looks like a pretty good start from everyone on the front row. It looks like a fantastic start from X Breezy. A fantastic start by X Breezy. He's going to shove Anos a little bit into the wall. Racer X has moved his way up to P3, but it's X Breezy loses the way from Snipper Peg in P2. Racer X has found his way up to P3, but they're side by side for P4. It looks like Pecan tried to make a move from Anos, but I think he's going to have to wait just a little bit before he goes for that adventurous of a move. So at the front now, it's still very, very close. There's nothing between these drivers. It looks like an incident with Dillsack. Dillsack has dropped to the field. He's all the way down to P10. What's happened to Dillsack?
He's just been shuffled back here on this first lap. I've been watching this midfield here. They are very close. I watched them throughout the entire starting sector of this race, and they were 3 to 4 wide at one point coming through the first sector. And Dulsac was the one who did not benefit from it at all. He was the one hung on the outside, stuck on the inside and 3 wide, and just never had a good run. So that's why he fell all the way down into P9. And Lucas, by the way, an amazing start in that Mercedes, all the way up at a P7.
Heading through the castle section for the first time. Looks like everyone's taking it timidly. No one going for anything too ambitious. Looks like everyone's going to get through the castle section with no clogs or anything like that. So everyone's got through the castle section cleanly. X Region still leads the way from Snipper Pig and P2, and Racer X rounds off your podium. But Snipper Pig now is going to have a fantastic run on the pit straight here. There's no DRS that's enabled just yet. Looks like a pile up, and there's a pile up. Heading in towards the final quarter of Sector 2, there's a massive crash. It looks like the Mercedes Imran Thunder and Spiral the Great have had a little snaggle, and that's caused quite the incident there.
So, so you know that talk we had about the safety car?
And we indeed have a safety car deployed on the first lap of the race. A safety car has been deployed. So instead of asking if there will be a safety car, how many of those will we see this race?
It's been this entire race, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have multiple, because this is some great watch, especially in this midfield.
See if anyone takes advantage of the timing of the safety car and comes to the pits. Yes, there's a few drivers. Deathwish Stricky's made it stop. He's on the medium tires now. The Imperial, it looks like he's going to the hard tires. To go to the hards this quick, that's an interesting decision from Imperial. Cone has gone into the medium tires. Spiral on the hards as well. Imran Thunder is also on the hards. An interesting strategy call from those who's going to the hards this quick.
All of those guys that just pitted, I'm pretty sure were all the ones in the in that collision. So I believe they all had damage there, or bad tires, or both. So the guys that came out quick, like Deathwitch, Tricky, and Colm, they probably didn't have damage, but just bad tires. And then the rest of these guys, I'm sure, had some pretty bad damage.
I completely forgot about the fact there is a massive pile up and have damage.
And once again, it's very rare in this league, but we have the most beautiful and best sounding car in F1 out on track.
Controversial opinion there from Jonathan. I'm sure the chat's gonna love that one. But you probably are right, because the V6s now, they need to bring back the V8s, or heck, the V10s. Heck, let's bring back the V12s and have this little race.
See, quite exciting. You know, I have to say my favorite era of F1 was V6s, but back in the 90s where the V6 turbos were running, they were so much more fun.
Indeed, they were. So the Mercedes AMG safety car paces the field around this track. I don't think it's going to come in this lap now. We're going to have to wait for another slow, boring lap of follow the leader here in Azerbaijan.
So I'm looking at the position here. So the biggest movers at the start of this race going up through the field were Impulse in that Red Bull. He gained 4 positions there. Lap alone, and Lucas as well, jumping from P12 to P8. So good start from those two drivers. Drew Yu and Glenn Coco as well, jumping up 3 spots. Stack dropping down 3 positions all the way down to P9 in that Toro Rosso, as well as Shawsome, who dropped 5 positions, as well as Deathwish Tricky, and killed a Birdman after getting a good initial start. I believe he was up there with his Williams teammate, but then got shuffled back in all of the close battling that they were having through the first and second sector.
For sure. So we said before the race started that this is going to be a crazy race, and we just keep having some evidence that this race is going to be one of the craziest league races that F1 2019 has ever seen. A safety car, a qualifying shootout, a pile-up. This is going to be a fantastic race.
Yeah, I'm excited to come out. I mean, thankfully, this wasn't a half the field pile up. Everybody's still in the race. They had to retire, so that's always good to see. We have an 18 car grid still, even after the first safety car, so that's always really great to see.
That's the biggest thing. As long as we maintain a full grid during a safety car, that's like the best scenario.
And so far, hopefully I don't jinx anybody, but nobody's gotten any sort of a penalty under the safety car yet. So that is also a blessing in disguise for all these drivers.
Thank God. I mean, the safety cars in this game have ruined a bunch of races, and even for myself, because of the penalty system. It's so finicky under a safety car. If you make the slightest of contact with anyone, you're going to get a fat penalty handed your way. So I don't know if the safety car will come in this lap or not, but as they cross the Sector 3 timing line, and the lights are off on the safety car, and we are about ready to go back green flag racing here from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And Breezy's down to P7. For some reason, Breezy's found his way down to P7. I don't know if he's lagged out or not, but on my screen, Breezy is down to P7. He just teleported to the back of the field, and he left the session. The race leader's left the session. That's so unfortunate, but Racer X has taken away P1. No, he hasn't. Now I belongs to Snipper Pig. What is going on? Connection issues, it looks like. So now the field is in control of Snipper Pig, I do believe. And we're green flag racing, but no, it's Racer X in the lead. I don't know how to call this, really, because I don't know what's going on.
Bossman goes up the inside of Impulse there in turn 1. Somebody spins off to the inside there, not quite sure who it was. It was Kill the Birdman in that Williams. I don't believe he hit anything, so everybody came through clean once again through turn 1 and what looks like through turn 2. Very unfortunate there for Breezy disconnecting from the session. Hopefully he can get back in. I know Pecan likes to send multiple invites to every session.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Breezy indeed. He was in a fantastic position, possibly picked up his third career win, but now it's probably all gone, so he's going to have to find a way to join back in the P9. So Racer X now assumes the lead of the race. How? I don't know. But he is in the lead of this race, because Sniffer Pig was the leader, but Racer X now leads the field to the castle section for the second time under green flag racing speed. And we'll see if everyone can get out of there cleanly. Single file as they should be. If they weren't, you're a moron. But it does look everyone is getting through the castle section cleanly, and Breezy's back to the session. He's going to take back control of his car from P13, so that's quite unfortunate for him.
Yeah, watching all of these drivers pass Breezy there was very nice to see. They were all super clean getting by that AI driver, which is always nice to see. He was causing a little bit of a trolley train, and I'm sure he was frustrating a few drivers.
Yeah, for sure he was.
Definitely.
I've had a few snaggles with some AI drivers in my time. I don't want to comment on that any farther, but yeah, the AI drivers can be quite the pain in the behind sometimes. Racer X is the fastest lap of the race. I don't think that's going to stay for long at all. The 144, that's going to be absolutely shattered here in the upcoming laps. But doesn't seem Racer X is able to pull away and form a gap just yet. Snipper Pig is keeping him honest and trying to pressure him to a mistake. Mono still holds down P3 from Pecan. Bossman's had a fantastic start. He's up to P5, and Impulse remains at P6.
Sorry to interrupt, but we might be going 3 wide for P8 here. Okay,
yes,
Glenn Coco backs out of it, thankfully. But Drew Yu is defending for his life there in P8. Got a restart and got up into P8, and now he's got to defend like crazy in that Williams. Man, look at that train of cars behind him.
Fantastic racing at the moment for P8. It's Drew Yu who leads this massive freight train of race cars in through Sector 2 now, heading towards the castle section. They won't be there just quite yet. As Dilsak's right on the back end of Drew Yu. He's going to have to wait to the castle section because he's making a move through there. There's contact.
Oh my God!
Drew Yu hits the wall. And there's some major contact, and it looks like Breezy's got straight on. He's pulling a Charlotte Leclerc, and he's going straight on at the castle section, as if this day could not get any worse for X Breezy. And we have another safety car on the again. Once again, another safety car deployed after what looked like a minor incident.
It's in the castle section, and we know how tight that is. So, you know, whenever there's something in the castle section like that, huge penalty here for Lucas. Lucas in P7 right now gets a drive-through penalty for speeding onto the safety car. Huge disappointment for him and that Mercedes team.
having a career day for Lucas, and now he just gets given a penalty. But it looks like that all the drivers are going to make the smart thing here, and they're going to go ahead and pit for their hard tires and essentially have a free pit stop. We'll see if anyone's ambitious and stays out. And
the medium drivers are, a few of them are. So this is going to be very interesting here, this strategy, how it plays out.
After all of this, Glenn Coco will go to the lead after the drive-through is served from Lucas. So probably one thing that you were not expecting to say is Glenn Coco in the lead of this Grand Prix, but here we are. This race is absolutely insane.
So if we go ahead and look at our position change detail, you'll notice something a little funny here. We got Lucas and Glenn Coco, the biggest movers technically so far in this race, up 11 and 12 spots. So congratulations, kudos to them from coming up from P12 and P16 or P14 to get up into P1 and 2.
A fantastic move from Glenn Coco to make a quintuple overtake over the entire field. Fantastic move from Glenn Coco. Let's put him in the P2.
I was trying to hurry up to see how many positions some of these drivers had gained and lost before they went into the pit lane, and I was really curious about Bossman. I don't remember where did Bossman start? He started in P8, and he is currently in a net P5. So Bossman has benefited a little bit from the truly train that Drew you caused, and just the safety cars incidents and all the advantages, and he's been able to just take advantage of gaining positions here on these restarts.
Indeed he has. Bossman could be a dark horse for the win of this race, especially if we keep on having these safety cars every single lap. We've only had 3 laps of green flag racing this entire race, I do believe. It's quite sad. I do hope we get some more green flag racing here soon besides just 3 laps. But
I think I think we'll be able to get some soon.
Yeah, maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, hopefully.
All these drivers need to do is just hold off for a little bit, get spread out, and then we'll be able to get some good green flag racing.
So since it took Breezy so long to get in Shawsome, interestingly pits now, so does the Imperial. So they were pit last lap, they wouldn't be losing nearly as many positions. So Shawsome and the Imperial are now into the pit lane.
Interesting decision from those two. I'm not sure why they didn't pit the first time around. I guess they were in a pretty bad location on track, or they just didn't.
They could have gotten unlucky. That's where they were. So they also could have gotten picked up by the safety car. The safety car will pick up whoever's catching it, and so if they got picked up by the safety car, they're not allowed to pass it, and so that also could have been an issue that they had.
Right, that would have been very unfortunate for them. So Lucas now, your race leader, and Glenn Coco in second. Deathwish Tricky P3. What a podium that we have so far. Killed a Birdman in P4. Cone Dodger has in a top 5 position. I'm Ran Thunder P6. Net P1 is Racer X and P7. Snipper Pig P8. Pecan 36 P9. Hanos P10. Bossman P11. Drew U P12. Drew U's also having a good day, besides the fact he caused one of the fattest trains in F1 history. Dilsack P13. Impulse P14. Spyro 15. X Breezy. Oh, X Breezy. What a horrible day he's having. Started on pole. He's all the way down to P16. Next in some connection issues. They missed his braking zone in the castle section. It's just been a horrible day for Breezy. Shawsome P17 and the Imperial rounds out the field.
So it's very interesting from the guys that have pitted so far, because the safety car has been going now. We're on lap 7 out of 26, and so we'll start lap 8 at the start to restart this race. And the top 3, the net top 3 of Racer X, Snipper, and Pecan are all on the soft compound tires, whereas Honos and Bossman swapped to the mediums, Drew U swapped to the softs, then Dilsack and Impulse swapped to the hards, and Breezy as well swapped to the hards. So this could be a very interesting strategy call here to see who got it right and who got it wrong. Those hard runners down there that pit under the safety car could go all the way to the end, and that might just be the golden ticket to victory here today.
That would be pretty insane. Safety car is going to pull him to the pits this lap. One thing I didn't think I'd say, Lucas in control of the field coming to the line. The field is in his hands. When will he decide to go? Yellow flag still out. Will the green flag drop? We're green flag racing. Lucas flies away from the field. Look at Racer X already looking adventurous. And Racer X tried to make a move, and there's a big collision. It's Cool the Birdman. He's in the wall. Will we see another safety car? But he gets it back going. I don't think we'll see a safety car just yet. We stroll back through the field at the top. It's Racer X who still holds his position for Sticker Pig. Lucas still in the lead of the race. Glenn Coco holds on in P2. In P3, that's with Tricky. No one's going to make a move. Side by side, though, Pecan and Cone Dodger. Pecan's still side by side with Cone Dodger heading into whatever this corner's called, I really don't know. And his contact, Cone Dodger forces Pecan a little bit wide. He hits the wall. Pecan may have some wing damage. It's going to hurt his race a little bit. But in the long run, I do think he'll be okay. So now it's Cone Dodger's turn to cause them big old train as Pecan's able to just squeeze by now.
Unfortunately, during all of that, first of all, if everything plays out right, Drew using that P4. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. But second of all, Bossman unfortunately fell down, and now Breezy once again has missed the castle section. I don't know what's going on here, but Breezy has missed it once again, and now Bossman and Breezy, two favorites for some good points, have fallen down the grid.
Hits the wall and rips off a end plate on his wing.
Oh, this is going to be interesting coming through these fast corners here at the end of the line.
This is going to be interesting to witness at the pointy end of the field now. It's Lucas who still leads.
Oh, we're going to be three wide, boys.
3 wide for P2. Glenn Coco on the inside, Racer X in the middle. Tricky on the outside. Who's got the faster straight line speed car? It looks like Glenn Coco might have these two cleared. Does Racer X break late? A little bit of contact with Death Wish Tricky. Racer X on the inside of Tricky. They're still side by side heading into turn 2. Who's got the better braking zone? Racer has the inside line. Racer's going to make the move stick. Snipper Pig now. A ride on the diffuser of Death Wish Tricky, but it looks like Tricky has his car turned out more, and he's going to start to pull away from Snipper as all that was happening. Lucas served his drive-through penalty. Now Glenn Coco in the lead of this race. 4-car battle for P1 at the moment. Racer X right on the diffuser of Glenn Coco. I'm sure he's mad and furious, and now he gets past him, clears him before they even get to the corner. Fantastic move from Racer X. Insane battling that's happening throughout the field. It's hard to keep up with all this. So Racer X now leading. Glenn Coco now P2. That was Tricky, who will settle for P3 for the time being, and Snipper Pig needs to get past these two if he wants to try and keep up with Racer X.
Yeah, and Racer X is going to be pulling quite a bit of a gap here. He's already 1.3 seconds ahead of Glenn Coco. Glenn and Death Wish Tricky both on the medium compound tires that are old from the start of this race. We have another safety car, this time virtual. Everybody's got to be careful here. And as SGX, Cone Dodger, and oh yeah, we have a big pile up here in the castle section with the Imperial and Cone and Lucas as well. So not sure what happened there. I'm sure we'll get some sort of a view from somebody else's viewpoint there. But
that was really bad to be sideways in there.
Yes. Now, what I was about to say was Racer X could take full advantage there and pull away. But oh my God, to restart here from Snipper on this VSC, they're 3 wide once again.
3 wide for P2. Glenn Coco on the outside, Death Rush Tricky in the middle. What can Snipper Pig do here? Does he have the better braking zone? Side by side with I'm Red Thunder. I'm Red Thunder spun Snipper Pig around. He was too ambitious and he spun it around. Horrible stuff for the points leader. So Snipper Pig all the way down to P11. Racer X is going to skip away from the field here.
In all honesty, there, I don't really think that Imran Thunder did too much wrong, in my opinion. Oh, as he hits the wall there, and Drew Yu misses the corner, but I don't really think Imran did too much wrong, as well as Death Wish Tricky. Now Tricky misses the corner.
Tricky missed the corner completely. Lots of things that's going on here. Glenn Coco now P2. Imran Thunder trying to hold off a mad Pecan. He's seeing what's happening to Snipper. He knows if he gets past Iron Man and Glenn Coco, he's going to have to chase down Racer. So he will not be patient at all here. One thing to note, Pecan and Racer are also on the soft tires.
Yeah.
Interesting. So they're going for a 2-stop.
Yeah. I think Dilsak's in the best position for this race win right now. In P5, on hard compound tires, I think Dilsak might just have a chance at his maiden win here in the F1 league.
Dilsak could definitely be a dark horse for this, if not just a straight-up favorite. He showed pace in qualifying, and now he seems to have the best strategy of anyone of the field so far. Racer X now has a 4-second gap from him to Glenn Coco, and Glenn Coco slaps the wall. That's a hard impact for Glenn Coco. Now Pecan now is looking on the back end of Iron Thunder. He's going to have DRS this time around. To the outside now, Pecan looks. Should be able to make a move stick. Iron not giving him an inch of space though. He's really forcing him to hug that wall. Who's going to break later? Iron's going to have the better of Pecan this time around though, but he slaps the wall. Now Pecan still on the outside. Will he dive to the inside for this corner? No, he's going to wait just a few more corners before he makes the move.
And now Pecan looking to the inside here in this DRS section. Should be able to get past pretty easily with this DRS. He does before the braking zone. So Pecan up into P2 on track, and Dilsak now right behind him. Ran Thunder. Breezy gets the fastest lap of the race in that Alpha with a 141.552.
Easy as you like there for Pecan 36. His eyes are now set on the race leader of a Racer X. These two are about the same pace. So Pecan is really going to have to turn that car up if he wants to catch up. It's looking like he's pulling a lot, though. That gap went down about 3/10 in just a few corners.
Pecan also has wing damage. This middle sector is going to be very hard for Pecan to get, and the final sector as well. He's going to lose a lot of time in the final sector, especially because of how fast those corners are. So just look at the gap now. It's 4.9 seconds. Wait until he gets around into sector 3 and kind of see what the gap turns into. That turn especially really slows you down quite a bit whenever you have wing damage, but he doesn't seem to be losing too much time here in these fast corners. So Pecan with that front wing damage might not be losing too much time here. We'll see how he takes these S's here, and cleanly. So Pecan might be okay.
Big battle here for P4. It looks like Hanos is all on the back end of Dilsak. Can Hanos make the move stick? He looks to the inside, almost into the pit lane.
Going to be 3 wide again.
To make a move. They're going to try and split. Iron Thunder in the middle. No, he's going to have to. Dilsak's going to have to give up P3 now to Hanos, as Hanos performs a double overtake. So that's a fantastic move from Hanos to get around Dilsak and Iron Thunder. He's going to try and chase down the hot Pecan 36.
Yeah, I feel like I still feel like Dilsak's in a great position here, but Hanos as well on those mediums is in a very good spot. As Dilsak misses the corner there. I'm not sure if he actually he lost a front wing end plate at some point, so very unfortunate for him. As now Snipper is now on the back of this train once again behind Imran Thunder in that Mercedes.
Yeah, so a very unfortunate moment there from Dilsak. He's now got a charging Snipper, an angry Snipper Pig behind him as they're going to go through the castle section. Snipper Pig will have to wait just a few corners before he can make the move. But Snipper Pig, of course, very angry. He wants to get back to the front. He wants to get back to where he belongs after the unfortunate incident with Iron Thunder. Looking now, Racer X still your race leader, 6 seconds over Pecan. Then it's Hanos, who seems to be catching Pecan quite quickly. There's an incident. Dilsak hits the wall. His front wing's completely off. He missed the braking zone for whatever turn that is, and he hit the wall. And we're now under yellow flag conditions once again. And Cone Dodger was handed a penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car.
Like I was saying in qualifying, that is the toughest braking zone on this track, and it shows right there. It's easy to make that mistake, as now Pecan and Racer X on those softs do make their second pit stop of the race technically, as well as Snipper on the soft compound tires. Wouldn't be surprised to see the others come in, but actually Drew Yu stays out. So Drew Yu now inheriting a P3, and Racer X coming out in P4 on the mediums. So that advantage that Dilsak had on being on the hards is now evaporated, and advantage turned disadvantage now for the Toro Rosso driver.
For sure. That's going to give Hanos
Oh,
970.
Oh, Pecan.
Huge penalty here. Huge penalty for Pecan 36. Speeding another safety car. He gets a drive-through penalty. That's heartbreaking for Pecan. He looked like to have a race-winning car today, but after that, he's just throwing away his chances, and he's going to have to drive to the pits.
Racer X might be staring at a pretty commanding victory here, as looks like Glenn Coco has missed turn 3 there, braking zone. These turns do have runoff areas, so it's very easy to get back onto the track quickly.
Oh! Big impact for Drew Yu. He misses his braking zone once again to the castle section and knocks off the whole half of his wing. Big damage there for the Williams. He's going to be very slow.
Very unfortunate for Drew Yu. He's up in P4. I believe this is the best he's ever done in the UDL league. So really sad, and he clobbers the wall once again. He's gonna have understeer for days in that Williams.
Drew Yu was having a career day in the UDL Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but it looks like a pretty big battle here for P5. It looks like Pecan now ahead of Sniffer, but don't forget Pecan does have to drive through penalty unless that was just a visual glitch and he doesn't actually have one, but I have to imagine he probably does have one. So Sniffer Pig going to be right on the diffuser of Pecan in the DRS zone. Does he have enough straight line speed to get on the back of him and make the move stick? Definitely tricky in the pits now as well. Sniffer Pig, does he look to the outside, inside, or does he tuck in for a corner? Yes, he does. He tucks in. He's going to wait to get a better run on Pecan. He probably knows that Pecan has a drive-through penalty. I'm sure he found out about that some way or another. But he's going to be around the back end of him again for the second DRS zone.
You know, this is quite weird to be saying this, but in a very weird roundabout way, John's podium might have just been the best prediction ever.
It just might have been, because we've had a crazy race, and it's just happened to work out for John as he does. In fact, Hanos winning. But I don't know if Hanos can go to the end on those relatively old medium tires.
Well, those mediums, for one, he doesn't have to push. He has an 8-second gap. And for two, those mediums, a lot of those laps have been under either VSC or safety car. So it's not like he's been pushing all 8 of those laps. He might have only been pushing for 2 or 3 of those laps. So the rest of the time we've been under safety cars. So we have to remember that as well. These guys that are, I mean, he's the only one on the oldest tires in the field, but I really don't think they're going to be too far off of the guys behind him.
That's very.
I gotta give everybody credit that hasn't been in like a serious incident yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this could be brewing out to be a fantastic race. It looks like Racer was ever so slightly gaining on the McLaren of Hanos. But yeah, Hanos may have just made the greatest strategy call in modern Formula One racing history. If he can manage to pull this off and maintain the 8-second gap he has over Racer. We have a good battle on track with P3. Pecan trying to hold off his arch nemesis of Sniffer Pig. But Sniffer Pig's on for DRS, heading in towards this very challenging left-hander, but I don't think he's going to make the move. He's going to peak a little bit spot's breaking point. He does that to scare the drivers in front of him. And it usually works well. It's worked on me a few times, but Pecan is having none of it.
I know it was my prediction, but I'm kind of amazed at the results.
Yeah, that's quite incredible there.
Hanos as well, coming up to a few lapped cars here. Kill the Birdman and Cone Dodger, who were in a couple of incidents here that didn't end up in a VSC. So hopefully those two drivers managed to be able to move themselves into blue flags pretty well. Imperial once again missing a braking zone and going off into a runoff area. Oh, we have Shawsome making a big mistake. He's now pointed in the wrong direction, and he noses it into the wall once again, and revs that poor V6 turbo like crazy. He better put on the drift spec tires on that puppy, because they're nice and warm.
But in fact, he does keep it going, so we're going to stay under the green flag conditions now. And one thing to point out, Anos is on the older tires. He has managed to actually pull on the Racer X. He's actually began to expand the gap of Pecan now, serving his drive-through penalty. That's going to put Snipper Pig onto the final step on the podium. But Pecan throwing away the podium. Very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, Pecan got to lose a lot of points here for his championship. He's got to drop down quite a few positions. We'll see. Well, actually, it looks like he'll come out in P6, so fortunate enough for him that there was a gap there between Deathwish and Ran Thunder for him to slide right into P6. Now Shaw some pits.
For P9 at the moment. Dilsack on the inside of Drew Yu. Dilsack is on to make the move stick. The Bossman and Drew Yu still side by side. And Bossman make the move stick into turn 2. Still side by side. Very ballsy move from Bossman. It's not going to work just yet. But yeah, insane racing here for P9.
So Dilsack just got a triple overtake done. He was in P11 going straight, and now he's in P9. The redemption tour continues for the Toro Rosso driver as he made quick work of those two.
For sure. So these three looks like they're going to battle for some time now. Bossman, he probably wants to get past the Williams and Drew Yu. He probably knows that he has the faster car, and he's willing to do everything he can to get past him. It's Dilsack actually not starting to pull away from Drew. It looks like Drew has found some new speed in the Williams. Really got very close to the wall there through the castle section. Almost hit the wall again. Bossman goes wide and over the curve. Almost hits the wall as well. Once again, we're going to see probably a fantastic moment for P9 here on the pit straight. Nothing separating these three drivers at all, heading for not really the penultimate corner, but the penultimate 90-degree turn, I guess that you could say.
Gonna go for this battle for P5. Pecan looking to the inside of the Toro Rosso, and he gets it done with the DRS, breaking into turn 1. So Pecan back up into P5, trying to grab as many points as possible. So we jump back to this insane battle for P9.
Routine move there from Pecan. They're side by side for P9 though. Drew Yu on the inside of Dilsack. Can he make a move stick? Yes, he can. Now Bossman, he wants a piece of it, but he gets loose, and Bossman's going to lose a lot of time. Now Dilsack going to be right on the diffuser of Drew Yu. He will have DRS this time. I think he has DRS, does he? Yes, he does. So he's going to try and chase down the Williams of Drew Yu. He looks to the inside. Can he make the move stick? And it looks like it might be a routine move here from Dilsack. He's found his way up back to P9. Bossman did not lose a lot of time because of these two battling. Drew Yu hit the wall a little bit. Now Bossman's going to look to the outside of Drew Yu. Bossman going to try and make the move stick around the outside. Pretty hard move to make, but no, he's going to have to tuck in for a few more corners.
So if you just copy paste that battle for P9 to the battle for P12, that's exactly what just happened. All three of the drivers of Lucas, Breezy, and Spyro went into turn 1 almost beside of each other. As now Lucas makes a mistake and hits the wall. Breezy has to slam on the brakes to avoid from absolutely knocking him to the next century. But yeah, you copy paste that battle for P9. That's what we got for P12 right now.
Yeah, Breezy is really being held up now by the Mercedes of Lucas. He's very eager to get past him. Breezy, as we know with him, he doesn't take no crap from drivers. He may be one of the toughest guys in the league. If you make him mad, you've messed up. So I'm sure that Lucas is probably trembling in his boots. This Bossman's retired from the session. What's happened to Bossman?
He hit the wall.
He may have hit the wall.
Oh, that is scary. That is sketchy. And safety car is out. That huge advantage Honos had is now gone. So
wow.
So he's gonna be swearing underneath that helmet. Cone Dodger once again getting a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. I think that's his 15th drive-through penalty in this race. Very unfortunate for the Ferrari fill-in driver. Imperial with another penalty as well.
If this race could not get any crazier, a safety car with less than 10 laps to go.
Yeah, it's going to bunch the field up completely here.
We are lined up for an absolute barn burner here.
So, the question is, I'm sure Honos is going to pit, because there's no way he's going to be able to hold off the guys behind him on 7-lap fresher tires. But my question is, how many guys come in for softs, and how many stay out on the mediums? It's a ballsy move, but if you can get a good start on those softs, it could be well worth it. As Honos actually does stay out. Oh no, he is coming in.
Ano's coming into the pits.
And
so strategy call from Anos here, probably a smart thing to do.
And I'm sure Racer X is going to do the complete opposite to Honos. He does. So we'll see where Honos comes out here. It's gonna be, he might just come out in either P2 or P3. Snipper coming down the pit straight now. So Snipper will stay out. Honos coming out of his pit box, coming out of the pit lane. Oh my God, Honos with an absolute banger of a strategy. He's gonna be in P2 on brand new softs to finish this race.
Oh my, that's a
amazing
very
call.
Oh man.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but I've had some some difficulties with my stream. So if you were watching my stream, I do apologize. I'm going to try and get that back up as quickly as possible. So if you were watching mine, just go on to just stay on damages, and John's for the time being, as mine was taken down for whatever.
So, wait a second. So, with Honos being on fresh softs for less than 10 laps. Actually, less than 5. And Racer X being moved down to second if he can get that pass done. All Snipper has to do is get past Racer X for my prediction to be completely accurate.
Who's the fastest lap?
I think the Prix doesn't he?
I believe so.
I do not know.
Now the question is, who did you predict for fastest lap?
Okay, that is the one thing I would have gotten wrong because I predicted Pecan.
Okay, and he did not pit for softs, so that's not...
And I said Dilsack. Now, speaking of Dilsack, he's back in this race as well in P7.
Yeah, with this safety car, it's going to bunch the field back up, and all these guys that had to pit for damage are going to be right back into this race trying to get some good points, as we're going to have probably another lap or two of safety car. We're only going to have a few laps left in this GP.
But what a strategy call from Hanos. Hanos may be the strategy god after that call. After making a late call for soft tires, he's going to be nearly unbeatable now in these final few laps on those fresh sets of grippy tires. I don't think that anyone is going to do anything for him.
As a WEC team owner, I kind of want to hire Honos as our strategy guy.
I don't blame you. After a performance like that, I think that you should just go ahead and write him a contract, but to make him the race.
Maybe I'll sign him with $2 instead of $1, like Snipper.
So, I mean, as you know, as somebody who watches real life Formula One constantly, this situation happened in Brazil at the very end of the race. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton were in the same situation as Honos and Racer X. Max pitted, and Lewis was told to do the opposite of whatever Max did. Now, Max came out. This could turn the complete other direction. This is a lot harder of a track to overtake on, other than in those DRS. So it's going to be a very interesting race here, and we'll be able to see if it has what it takes to defend against that McLaren driver and hold on to this race victory here today.
This is an amazing turn of events at the end of this race. This will be a fight for Honos, but if he can get that pass done, he has this in the bag.
Yeah,
indeed he does.
If he can get in front, he should be able to. He should be able to take it home from there, bar any sort of a unfortunate incident from him.
It was such. It must have been an emotional roller coaster from him, because as soon as the safety car came out, his strategy was gone.
Yeah.
But to be able to come out of the pit lane in second place on the best tires you could possibly be on at this point is incredible.
Yeah, whenever that safety car came out, he was screaming and yelling under his helmet. But as soon as he came out P2, he's not as happy as he was before the safety car, but at least it's some pretty good consolation, as we will have another lap under the safety car.
He was definitely screaming for other reasons.
Yeah, so Racer X, he'll be looking to pull a madness on the restart here to try and build as much of a gap as possible over Anos, because if he slips up just a little bit, Anos is going to attack, and Anos will probably be gone.
It's taking, the game will wait for the final driver to catch the train before it restarts the race, and so as they come on to lap 21 of this GP, I'm not sure how long it'll take Cone to catch up. He was almost lapped by the field whenever he came out of the pit lane, and so he's having to push and basically put in his best lap of the race here under safety car to be the field in time to restart this race. As Lucas somehow gets a time penalty for exceeding track limits under a safety car, so it's interesting to say the least.
Looks like the lap cars are being told to go past the safety car now, kill the burn man. Looked like he pulled out, but no, he stayed back. What's going on? So before long, they should tell the lap cars to go past, kill the burn man. Still in the middle of this pack, but he's a minute and a half off of Cone Dodger. So I'm not sure what's going on here.
We should be going back green this lap, as Cone is now at the end of the first sector, catching them now. So we should be going back green at the end of this lap.
But for whatever reason, Kill the Birdman's right in the middle of this lead pack, and he's a lap down. So interesting to see why he's there. I don't know if he's going to get the wave around or what, but well, it should be the final lap under safety car. Racer actually race leader. Hanos on those fresh softs in P2. Slipper Pig P3, a fantastic recovery drive from him. Impulse is having a great day. He's in P4. Pecan is back to P5. Glenn Coco on some really used up hards in P6. Bill Sack, he finds his way back to P7. Drew U scoring some solid points in P8. Tricky down in P9. Ayn Rand Thunder in P10. Spyro P11. Shaw P12. X Breezy Pole Sitter in P13. Lucas P14. The Imperial will be in P15. Cone Dodger P16. To Kill the Birdman P17. Confirmation now. The safety car will be in this lap. So Racer X will pace the field to the pit straight for what should be the final restart of the evening. It's going to be a 5-lap sprint from here to the end. Who do y'all have winning? I'm sure it's going to be an obvious one who y'all have winning this, but
somebody in the top 10 will win this race.
I can't even really give a confirmation because whoa, okay.
Oh my!
Oh no! Some contact in the back. What's happened to Arnos? He's down to P3. Stepper Pig's in the wall. Arnos back up to P2. Racer X is skipping away. Very disorganized start for the field, and as you probably said, and Iron Man Thunder's disqualified from the session after scoring solid points. Has been disqualified from the session. What is going on here? Pecan also has a 5-second time penalty. I don't know if y'all saw that before the race got restarted, but Pecan does in fact have another 5-second time penalty. So now Anos, right on the heels of Racer X. This is what Racer X didn't want. Anos will not be going away anytime soon. Heading towards the penultimate corner for the castle section. Anos, it's very evident Anos has got the quicker car at the moment. The better tires, the better car, the better everything, it looks like. Into the castle section. Taking it nice and timid. Everyone's single file. And there's a big pile up. Glenn Coco's in the wall. He's caused a massive train. But we're still green flag racing. But Glenn Coco did in fact at the wall. Now Anos around the back end of Racer X. When will he make his move?
Oh boy.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of a when. Will Anos make his move? Battle for P8 it looks like now, but that's not important because Anos right on the diffuser at Racer X. We could see a pass for the lead. Now heading into the pit straight. Racer X those tires seem to be struggling. Anos can get them before they even hit the DRS zone. They enter the DRS zone now. Anos to the inside of Racer. Who's got the better straight line speed? Contact between the two of them just a little bit. Anos going to try and make the move stick to the inside. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can. Almost 9-7 to the race lead. Now Racer X will have to push with all his might to try and not lose sight of the McLaren. He knows that the McLaren's got the faster tires. He smacks the wall a little bit. Anos is going to start to pull away here. Racer really needs to start pushing. He does not need the McLaren to get away from him, but that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, there's no chance that Racer's going to be able to keep up with the McLaren now. He's just got to focus on being consistent and staying ahead of the Haas and the Ferrari behind him. While you were watching all of that, I watched the absolute melee that was the battle for the bottom half of the points, from P6 to P whatever it was. Oh my, that was an absolute free for all. And I mean, it's still a free for all here at the bottom end of these points.
It still looks like a free-for-all at the moment in P8, as it looks like that Lucas is going to look to the inside and make the move stick on Drew Yu. So is Cone Dodger. Look at Cone Dodger scoring points in his second ever F1 league race. What a drive from Cone Dodger.
And in this first league race, he was the only car that finished a lap down. And here in his second race here in F1, he's scoring 2 points so far, provisionally.
That's a heck of a rebound there from Cone Dodger. It looks like the Racer X somewhat staying within Honos. He's only 1.8 up the road. He's pulling about a few hundredths or so.
Yeah, Honos has gained around 8/10 this lap. Honos is gone. It's more or less going to be a battle for the rest of the podium here from here on out.
DRS is in fact enabled now, so Racer X, if he wants any chance to win this, he's going to have to push like there's no tomorrow. But Anos continues to pull away. Pecan is now looks like a threat for P2, but once again he doesn't have the 5-second time penalty. So it's Snipper Pig who's in a net P3 at the moment. We're going to look back to the field now. We're going to look for some more battles through the field. If y'all see one, just tell me and I will teleport to that immediately. P6, they're side by side. That's with Tricky next Breezy. And Tricky misses his braking point. Into the wall he goes. And Breezy will go back up to P6. A great recovery drive from X Breezy, by the way, to have connection issues and hit the castle section wall twice and come back to score some solid points for X Breezy.
I'm just looking through the race director right now, looking for any time penalties. And it doesn't look like any of these guys at the front, other than Pecan, have any time penalties, which is good to see. The closest person to the front with a time penalty is Lucas, who has a 5-second time penalty.
Not bad for the top 7.
That's still very unfortunate for Pecan. He's in the position to finally finish ahead of his arch rival Snipper Pig, but he's thrown away with the 5-second time penalty. Anos now 2.2 ahead of the field. Racer X cannot seem to keep up with him. Pecan now on the back end of Racer X, looking for the field now. Looks like a pretty good battle for P11. Dilsack on the back end of Glen Coco hits the wall. Dilsack, he loses a lot of front wing for the castle section. Yellow flag in Sector 2 for it. But he keeps the car going, and we will stay under green flag conditions. And Breezy's trying to make a move on impulse for P5, and he does. X Breezy into P5. Fantastic move there from X Breezy. Lucas now looking for P7. He gets the move done. So the race for P1 might be over, but there's still some fantastic racing throughout the field.
Pecan fighting Racer X into the braking zone.
Yeah, Pecan, he really wants a piece of this P2 that he won't get to keep. He's going to look around the outside. He can't do that. That's what he did. He made the move stick around the outside, but no, he did not, because Racer X have a much better exit. They're side by side, but Racer X clears him, heading into the penultimate corner before the castle section.
This is going to be a spicy race for P2 here. Now that they're battling, Snipper's going to be right in the mix here. And with that DRS train on the pit straight, if Snipper can stay close to these guys, he'll have the double toe and the DRS on that pit straight, and he could very easily pull off that double overtake that very many drivers have been doing here in this GP.
Small bit of a wall smack there from Pecan 36 as he just smacked the outside wall, the exit of that corner. But he's trying to chase down Racer, but to no avail. I don't think he's going to be able to make the move this time around as they come to take the final lap of the race now. Hanos leads them under for the second to last time today. Racer X holds P2 for a time being, but Snipper has DRS, but he's going to have to tuck in as well for a few more corners before he makes his move.
So I just want to go ahead and point out the ERS usage here from all three of these drivers here, battling it out for P2. Racer X and Pecan. Pecan depleting his completely, trying to get past Racer X. Racer X saving his. He's only at 14% ERS battery. But look at Snipper behind with 40% ERS battery deployment left here on the last lap. He's going to be saving as much as possible so that he can go for a last lap dash on that pit straight.
For sure, but Racer still leads his three-card train for P2. Pecan right on the diffuser of Racer X. Now Snipper once again peeps to the inside spot. Pretty good point. Constant tactic and scares opponents really. Sector 3, yellow flag.
Spyro retired.
Interesting there from Spyro, but Racer X still leading this pack of cars. Pecan right on the diffuser. But Anos 9797979, making the strategy call that not a lot of people thought to make, but he went ambitious with it, and he was at the right place at the right time, and he made the strategy call to switch over to softs with just a few laps left. He's heading to the pit straight now. Hanas 9797979 should be able to take his second career victory in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's official. He wins here from Azerbaijan for P2. It looks like Racer's going to hang on. Pecan's going to go down to P4 for the time being. P3 belongs to Snipper Pig. X Breezy will come across P5, maybe P4 if he gets there in time. No. He hangs on to P5. Impulse. Could be a drag race for P6. Lucas looks to the inside, and he can't make it work because he got a 5-second time penalty for and surf penalty, but Impulse will keep P6. Deathwish Tricky to P7. P8 belongs to Lucas. P9. As they come around the S. The S is now. Glen Coco should be able to keep P9 ahead of Cone, and Cone spins it! Cone retires in the final corner of the race! No! He was scoring points, and he spins in the final corner of the race. That is
such
so
a disappointment.
Well, there you have it. Quite possibly one of the most entertaining races that we've ever had, strategy-wise and action-wise, here in the United Drivers League F1 Series Season 2, here at Round 4 of the Champions. Honos brings home the first victory of the year for McLaren and his second career victory, followed by Racer X in P2 and Snipper Pig in P3, who took that position away from Pecan there, who had a 5-second time penalty. He will end up in P4. Breezy, our pole sitter, dropped back with some unfortunate incidents in his race. He will finish in P5. Great comeback drive from him. Impulse in P6 for Red Bull Racing. Deathwish Tricky, a very up and down race for him as well, will come home in P7. Lucas, after his drive-through penalty, does a very good job getting back up into P8 and scoring some good points. Glen Coco comes home in P9, and Dulsac also had a very roller coaster ride day in that Toro Rosso. He will round out the points paying positions in P10. Cone Dodger retiring on the final lap in the final corner out of the points. That would have been his first points in Formula 1. He will come home in P11. Drew Yu, P12. Spyro, P13. Shawsome, P14. Kill the Birdman, Imperial, Bossman, and Imran Thunder round out the field.
One of the
amazing race.
Yeah, very amazing race. One of the most devastating heartbreaks I've ever seen from Cone Dodger. Was scoring his first ever points in F1 League Racing, and he spins it out on the final corner and takes off his tires. But what a race we've had here from Baku. So join us again next week at the same time for the Grand Prix, right?
Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, for the Monaco Grand Prix next weekend.
Just a bit of a reminder, Damage and I will not be there for that race. We have the official start of the WEC season to do, so we have other commitments, but we will be back.
and I once again plan to be in the commentary booth for that race. I'm not sure who will help me along there, but these two have done an
I think
awesome
it's
job.
Spyro, actually.
Spyro, okay, that's fantastic. He's a fantastic commentator, but these two guys have done a fantastic job with me in the booth, I do believe. So a fantastic evening here from Baku. Yes. Oh, any last words from you guys?
Nope. Incredible race. Great strategy call on Honos, but that's about it.
What was my podium?
Who knows?
I said Honos. Did I really say Honos Racer X Snipper? Hold on. I gotta go back and listen to that. I don't know.
I don't know if you did or not, but some interesting developments from the chat. Pcom, he will be disputing a penalty, and he will try and get back his P3. But thank you all for tuning in on whichever stream that you're watching, mine, John's, or Damage's. You did have 3 to choose from, and if you were watching mine, I do apologize for the technical issues we had in mid-race. But that's going to conclude the coverage here from Baku. So from me, Owl, Damage, and John, good night.
Good night.
Bye.